But I also want to say to you, man, congratulations, on the addition of your newborn daughter to, your family and all that good stuff, man. I'm pretty sure
Appreciate that.
you're absolutely welcome, man. I'm pretty sure, being a first time father and, dealing with the joys and the should I say the blessing of being a parent, I know that's been a different change for you, man. So how's that been for you?
I mean, the introduction to fatherhood is definitely a different one from what anyone expects. You think about it, you plan it in your head. You have 9 months to practice and anticipate. And then when it finally hits, I promise you, it's completely different. Like, the joy that you feel is overwhelming. Like, it's something that you haven't seen before, you haven't felt before. And for me, it changed my whole perspective on life, It's like that feeling of bringing life into the world. Obviously God brings life, but being a passenger for that, a tool for that to happen, and you're given this responsibility of teaching that child ethical choices, you're teaching that child morals, teaching that child respect, how to have culture, how to carry yourself. That for me is a new challenge that's been unlocked that I'm excited for. I'm always excited for challenges. I've always been excited for challenges my whole life. But this one is like, I'm super excited for, because I'm looking to see how I can really impact a life that she'll be twice as good as I am, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's about passing down that torch that she can do so much great things in this world. And my blessings come back that if she blesses other people,
Oh, yeah. I definitely dig that one, man. And that's one of the things, getting back to what we were saying earlier, why it's so important for, the fathers to be present in, the life of the children that they help to create. Because, you really look at hip hop right now, a lot of it is just really, a lot of the things that you see these guys rapping about and a lot of the actions that they, do, and a lot of what they live by comes from a product of not having grown up with their fathers. Some of them, yes, and they just like to perpetrate a fraud, being that this is what their label wants them to talk about. But you do have a lot of people, and this is just beyond the music, you have a lot of people out here in our communities that didn't get the privilege or the opportunity to grow up with both parents in the household. So that's one of the things we really I really feel as though that we should make a very important emphasis on with a lot of people out there. And I think it will really change a lot of things around if we get that family structure back. How you feel about that?
For sure. I grew up in a 2-parent household, so I had both my parents, thank God. I'm planning on doing the same,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like every child deserves to have 2 parents together, no matter what. I mean, even if you guys aren't together, there should be that cordial nature, There should be that friendship. There should be that partnership. And the fact that you guys you made the decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
You made the decision to lead up to having a child.
Mm-hmm.
If you were mature enough to make that decision, you should be mature enough to live with the consequences of it,
mm-hmm.
and accept the responsibilities that come with it. So for me, I can't fathom, especially now after stepping into fatherhood myself, I can't fathom any father that leaves their child. I can't fathom any mother that leaves their child.
Mm. Yeah.
And that's my strong perspective on it. I just can't see it. Because there's nothing that you could do to me today or say to me that will ever make me not present in my daughter's life. So I believe that family structures need to be back. They need to be brought back. This whole idea of polygamy and everybody glorifying, baby mothers and having multiple women and this and this and that. All that sounds cool, but that's childish. You haven't grown up.
Oh, yeah.
The true step into being a man is when you've accepted, I have one woman that I will do right by. I'm going to raise my children in a happy household, and I will do whatever and sacrifice whatever to make sure that children, wife, live a happy life.
And that's it, man. And it's not only that, also on the men's side of the equation, but also with the women, because a lot of women out here, they have this mindset, and it's a very bad one on both sides. A lot of them have that mindset that they don't need a man in their life. They don't want to have a man in their life, and they can do all things, and they can, raise a child, especially a young man, by themselves. And that's not the case, because there's a lot of things that a woman, a man, or a young man can learn from a woman. I'm not disputing that, having grown up in a single parent household myself, you know, with my mother raising me most of the time. But it was a lot of things that she couldn't teach me that, you know, I wish my father was in the household in order to teach me. You know, he gave me the knowledge he could give me when he had the opportunity to spend time with me. But there's a lot of things out there that a lot of women don't understand, that you can't teach a child that better than what a man can teach them. And, you know, I'm not saying that to sound sexist or anything, but it's just the truth.
No, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I said, I believe it's very important that a child has both parents, right? Because they learn the nurturing, more peaceful, respectful side from the mother, right? They learn more of the love from the mother, but they also learn certain ethics from a father, especially if it's, like you said, raising a man, right? A man will always end up looking up to their father and seeing how their father moves. And most of the things that you see, most of these guys grew up in homes without fathers, right? I mean, luckily, you, like you said, you were able to learn a few things, you know, from the time that you spent with yours. And I respect that a lot, because growing up in a one-parent household and still being, I mean, you're here today. You're doing what you do. You know what I'm saying? You're a platform. You're vocal. You're open. People listen to you and they learn from you. You share wisdom every time that you hop on that microphone. So that is something to be respected and obviously applauded for. But like you said, there's certain things that a man will learn from a man more than they would learn from a woman, right?
Absolutely.
And there's certain things that a woman doesn't understand from a man's perspective, and certain things that a man will never understand from a woman's perspective. That's just how life is.
Absolutely.
So that's why it's important to have both perspectives in a child's life. Because then you guys can come together, compromise, and find a middle ground where that child is given the best opportunity to grow up. And that goes back to the importance of family structure.
I wholeheartedly agree with that one. And another thing that I wanted to include in there as well, you know, with the father being in the household, it also teaches the daughter how a man is supposed to treat you. You know, I feel as though, like, if a lot of females grew up with their father in the household, they wouldn't allow a lot of these, you know, bum ass dudes out here to treat them the way they treat them. They would be treated with, they would demand respect more so than what they do growing up without, you know, both parents in the household. So that's another thing too, and that's something I've learned as well from, you know, a lot of friends that I grew up with that had their fathers in that household with them, and women in particular, is the fact that they feel like they learned how they should be treated and how they should be respected, being the fact that they had the male figure in the household, and they learned from the experience of watching how they interacted with their mother and with, you know, the husband and wife aspect. So I think a lot of females out here, if they grew up with that, they will want to be a wife more so than just a side piece or a baby mother, you know?
Exactly. And it also goes into the fact that them watching their mother be with one man, and even both kids, be it a boy, be it a girl, right? Watching your father treat your mother good, watching your mother treat your father good, that works hand in hand, right? Because at the end of the day, you're seeing a man staying in the household, you're seeing a woman staying in the household, and you're seeing them make it work. You know? So it gives you that mentality of making it to work. No matter what, you know, sticking by somebody, sticking and doing the right thing. Whereas today, in today's culture, and look, cancel culture is strong right now, but I'll still say what I have to say.
Oh, yeah.
Women chase over high value men, correct?
Yeah.
And we see that, especially in cities like Miami. They chase after the man that could put them on a PJ and send them to Mykonos for the weekend. But what do they have to offer to this high value man, right? And you think this high value man really has time? The same thing that you're offering him, beauty, looks, youth, your body, those things, there's 200, 500, 10,000 other girls in their DMs on Instagram with the same thing. If you don't bring value to the table, how can you expect to match value?